my name is Dakota. I'm a third grade teacher here in Texas, and today's video is going to be classroom setup day 2. On day 1, I pulled everything to the middle of the room, pulled it all out of my cabinets, anything that was mine. Boxes, lamps, furniture, everything was to the middle of the room, and then I got my layout set up with the exception of my classroom library. Got all of that figured out, and then for today, day 2, I really want to get my cabinets all set up. I have currently 3 cabinets in my room, and I believe one of them was provided by the teacher who was in the classroom before me, and it's got a little bit of extra supplies, some craft stuff, all of that. I want to get that cabinet emptied out and honestly removed from my room, so that way I am only working with the 2 cabinets that were provided by the school. One cabinet I would like to keep with all of my personal belongings, anything that is extra student supplies or extra things for me I want to keep in there, or things that I've purchased that I want to keep keep safe and put away. And then the other cabinet, I would like for that one to be all curriculum or supplemental or manipulative type stuff that has been provided by the school, or things that I've made to go along with the curriculum. That way I can have 2 purposes for the cabinets, and throughout the year I'll know exactly where to go to find things, and also throughout the year as I make new things or buy new things or whatever, I'll be able to have somewhere to put it. So that is my goal today. I want to get that one cabinet completely emptied out and get the other 2 fully set up, and get all of the little things that are just out around my room right now put away in the cabinets and give them a home. I think this part of classroom setup is really important because being organized is going to help you throughout the entire year. It is going to set you up for success. If I wanted to, I honestly could just go throw my stuff in those cabinets and never look at them again and just dig for whatever I needed throughout the year. But that's not going to be helpful for me in February when I'm looking for one certain thing and I can't find it anywhere and I don't know which cabinet it is in. So I'm going to take the time now to get everything organized nice and neat so that way it is findable throughout the year. And that will get me to where it is time for the fun part of classroom setup, where I'll get to decorate and do my bulletins and pick out the fun borders and all of that. I do have a couple of themes in mind as far as what I want to do for my classroom, but I'm not certain. So I have an IKEA trip planned, and I'm also going to make a trip to either like Teacher Tools here in DFW or Lakeshore Learning to pick out my new theme. So without further ado, I am gonna head to Starbucks, grab myself a little treat. FYI, I'm not a coffee gal, but I do like the refreshers at Starbucks. So I think I'm gonna go pick up a drink and then head to the classroom. So I will see you guys there. Made it to the classroom. Got my Starbucks. I ended up going for a peach green tea lemonade, unsweetened, instead of a strawberry acai refresher, but it's just kind of feeling the green tea today. First thing I'm going to do is get my day 1 video posted, and then I'll give you a quick look at what my ideas are for today. So be back in a moment. Okay, so here's what the room is looking like for the start of day 2. She's a little bit of a mess, but it always gets worse before it gets better. I am pulling everything to the middle of the room. Last time I left this stuff up here, and also I didn't even touch, see if I can come over here. I didn't even touch this cabinet. The only one I emptied out fully was this one here behind me. And I started organizing a little bit, and then I emptied out all of my things from this cabinet and left curriculum and stuff like that. But I'm gonna empty out this and pull all of this, all of it, to the middle of the room. So I'm gonna make it a little bit worse, but it gets worse before it gets better. That way I have everything fully cleared. All of this is ready to go, and I can really start putting things like where I want to store them, and I can really keep them there. For example, like in these two totes, I'm pretty sure those are like classroom transformation supplies. So those will likely stay above there, but I'm just gonna pull everything down and find a place for everything. That is my number one today, is get all of this stuff organized, get it all put where I want it to stay, somewhere that I'll be able to find it throughout the year. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, cabinet emptied. It's all behind me somewhere, not organized, but at least the cabinet's empty. That's where I needed to start. This one still looks the same. It's all empty aside from the things that I put in here from day one, and this is going to stay here. This is going to be seasonal stuff for me, overflow of supplies, things that I reach for often in here. And then this one also still looks the same, but this is the one I'm gonna work on next. Getting this stuff right here is like teacher edition stuff that I will need to teach with. So that will be, I'm gonna go ahead and put that at my teacher table. And then once I have my cube shelf, I'll be able to put them away. And then I'm gonna try and get these manipulatives and supplemental stuff organized, and then add the rest of the supplemental stuff that is not in there. Go ahead and get it in there. And then I also got this cleared off here. The only thing I left was that box and what's on top of it, because those are privacy folders, and to be honest, those are probably gonna stay up there because we won't use them all year long. We'll just have to get them down whenever we are using them, unless I find somewhere else around the room. Like I said, I pulled everything over here. So as I get this cabinet organized, I will start adding to the cabinets once I get everything from here removed. So that is next on the agenda. This cabinet is now all cleaned out. The space that I have is just going to be these 3 shelves. Down here is already all full. That bottom drawer, apparently they have snack time. It's full of snacks, which I actually put the peppermints in there, but it's full of snacks. And then this one has some scales, and there's really not a lot of room left to put stuff in. So the drawers are kind of accounted for, but I still have quite a bit of room. I'm still not sure what those purple things are up there. I'm assuming privacy folders, but they have a big hole in the back, so I feel like it defeats the purpose of privacy, but whatever. That's a document camera that I'm not going to use, so I just have it up out of the way. And then I will have all of this space as well. These 2 boxes, I'm gonna move somewhere. I just don't know where yet. This one is all cleared out, ready for me to start moving stuff in and getting it organized. And this one, again, is good to go. The only thing that I have is in this drawer are all of these. I use them for crayons and different things, so that I just have a whole bunch of them, like more than a class set, whole bunch. So now my cabinets are good to go, and I'm going to start pulling everything from the pile and start placing it in here. Next thing I'm going to work on are these student editions, and I'm going to get them put into this second cabinet over here. These 3 are for math, this one's for science, and these 2 are for reading. For reading, it has my book 1, my book 2, so the students will only have 1 book at a time. We'll start with my book 1, and then we'll make our way to my book 2. So throughout the year, I really will only be storing that stack, And then I don't know anything about this science curriculum, but it's a very small book and it looks like there's only one. So they'll probably have that throughout the year. And then these three, the students will have all three of these all year long. The practice is, let's open it up. It is the warm-up, kind of like fact fluency type workouts type work. The learn is full of the problem set. So after we do a lesson, it'll have the problems for them to practice. And then also like word problem of the day. And then succeed, I believe, is the homework. Yeah, succeed has the homework for each lesson. So the students will have all three of these. And I'm not sure what the school's system is for homework, but if we do homework, maybe we could just send that home and assign papers. So maybe the students won't have to store that. But really, I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the cabinet just to get them out of the way, out of the floor. But throughout the year, I personally will only be storing these, my book 2, until we make it to the point of the year where we get to that book. Honesty hour. It's actually a couple hours later and I really haven't done anything. I ended up going to lunch with my mom, and then I actually met a teacher who is moving in across the hall. So we just kind of took a little tour of the school, and I'm really just now back in here, but I have done a little bit of thinking, so I just kind of wanted to share my thought process with you from where my last update was. So I'm gonna flip you around and just kind of show you the little bit that I have done. So first, I went ahead and moved the math and science student editions over here to this shelf. Eventually, this shelf is going to be gone, and it's going to be replaced by the 3-cube shelf here, or the not 3 cube, it's 12 cubes. But it's like 3 rows of 4, and that's going to be here underneath my TV. And then all of these books down here that are part of the reading curriculum will be in those cubes, as well as the teacher editions, which I went ahead and moved over here. There's the reading, some science, and the math teacher editions. So I went ahead and got all of those over here to my teacher table, because eventually, like I said, they'll be in the 12 cube shelf behind me. And I decided not to store these student editions in my cabinets. That was my first thought. Once I started moving them, I realized that these are going to take up a lot of space, and they're not going to be there for very long, because we're going to be jumping into them after the first few days of school. So I decided to just put them here for now, and I'll figure out, as far as like meet the teacher and that sort of stuff, I'll figure out a way to store them neatly, so that way it doesn't look like I just have piles of stuff everywhere. But I decided not to waste the space inside of my cabinets, because as you can see, I've got a lot of stuff over there that needs to go in them. So here on this one, the only thing that I've added is the construction paper up at the top, and this box right here that has my laminator, some laminating sheets, labels, different things. I decided that I'm gonna include craft stuff into this one, so that's why I went ahead and put those manila paper and construction paper up there at the top, because I'm gonna do all the craft and seasonal stuff, like as far as decorations and activities in here. And then in this one, I did go ahead and move the reading books in here. These here are labeled module 1 should be through 7, and I did that last summer before the last school year, because we were getting the new Eureka Math curriculum, and I thought that would be really helpful for me to organize. But now that I've used the curriculum for a year, I realize that that system isn't as helpful. So I think I'm going to change it, because I have a lot of stuff, like seasonal stuff, that are actual activities, not just like crafts and supplies. But I have like escape rooms and different things that are seasonal that need a home. So I think I'm gonna take those, not now, but in the future, take those labels off and then just change the labels on those so that way I'm actually able to keep stuff in there that goes along with that label. Right now, I just filled these with things that I had, like posters in my room, genre posters or rules, things that I've made. And so a lot of that stuff will be coming out anyways. It's not the module 1 through 7 like they're labeled. It's other stuff. So I'm gonna get those labels changed eventually. The next thing I'm going to do, just so that I have this space, I'm going to move this shelf here and I'm gonna go ahead and put it underneath the TV. Technically, all of that stuff will kind of be over here anyways, so I'm gonna just go ahead and move it so that it's in the right spot. And then that'll open up this area. And at the end of my last video, I was talking about my classroom library, and I think that's what I'm gonna move over here. So I'm gonna set you down, do a little bit of moving, and check in with you in a bit. All right, y'all, it's about 5:30. I didn't record much. My mom came up here after she got off work for a little bit, just to be some moral support mostly because I really didn't get a lot accomplished, but I was able to get some stuff rearranged and moved out of here. So I'll show you what I've done so far. Okay, I'm gonna start here. I know my piles look a little bit worse than they did before, but that's because I emptied out all of these crate seats and all of these stools down here. They all had stuff in them, but I wanted to go ahead and pull everything out. That way, as I'm putting stuff away, I don't forget to put some stuff up. So my teacher table right now is in a little bit worse condition than it was before, but that's again because everything is empty. And so all of this stuff that is right here, with the exception of the student materials right here, all of this stuff eventually will be behind me in my shelves. So this black bookcase was left here by the previous teacher, and these bins are all part of the reading curriculum. So I went ahead and just moved this here so that way I could get it out of the way of the spot where it was. Another thing that I did was move this bookshelf here. And I have a second one to go right on this other side. So that way it'll be symmetrical. So I'll have the 12 cube shelf directly behind, directly underneath the TV, and then I'll have the two bookshelves on either side. And I think that will give me plenty of space to keep all of my teacher things, all of the curriculum books, all of my pens, markers, binders, everything. So that is the progress on this area, even though it still has a long way to go. But we're getting there. The next thing that I did is set up this library area. I know yesterday I had talked about, or not yesterday, but in my previous video I had talked about kind of spacing these bookshelves out around the room, but I really decided that I like it better just over here because I wasn't happy with where that bench bookshelf was. So I just made my little classroom library up here. I've got all the bins and everything ready to go, but we'll have to set that up later. The next thing I did was unbox my fridge. I'm going to get a little table at IKEA to set the fridge on top of, and then I will have baskets or bins underneath to keep, I want to say snacks for the students because in one of these drawers, there's a whole bunch of snacks. So snacks for students or things that I bring for lunch. And so that will be here in this area. I don't know that much has changed in this shelf. Maybe I've moved a couple of more things, but not by much. And I know I've moved some of my door hangers here. This shelf, I'm not sure has changed too much either, but I have gotten some things put away. Like here are all of my little games. I have buzzers and trash get ball baskets and what do you call this, a little dartboard. It's like a throw the balls at the dartboard thing for points, some ring toss, and these are all things that I use all year long, so I wanted those to have a permanent spot, so that way they weren't just kind of everywhere. But the rest of the room still looks like a crazy mess. What I've started doing over here is putting everything that was in the bookshelf left from the previous teacher, I am just setting over here. A lot of it is like arts and crafts supplies. There's paint and ribbon and all kinds of stuff. So I'm just leaving it all set over here for now. And then once I get my stuff kind of set up, then I'll go through this. But I don't have the brain power to go through this and all of my stuff at the same time. So I'm just leaving a pile here of everything that she left, and I'll go through it, keep what I want, get rid of what I don't. But this area is getting a little bit less, but that's because, like I said, I moved some of it over there to my teacher table. What I'm going to do next is go ahead and get this stage pushed back, and then all of my extra bins I'm going to keep here on my stage. I have lots of different little buckets and book bins and table caddies, so I'm just going to get all of the storage containers that I have and keep them on the stage. That way, as I'm finding things and putting things away, if I need something to put it in, I'll just be able to come over here and grab it. So all of my bins are here on the stage. Those 3 boxes need to be moved to the library, so I'll do that next. And then this is the pile that I'm going to try and attack. There are just some kind of miscellaneous things in here. These are the things that I want to get put away inside the cabinet on the left, the one with all of my things, as well as some crafts. Like these are just different little crafts that I have prepared and some supplies. So these are things that I just want to get put away over there in that left cabinet. So that's what I'm going to work on next. But this pile over here is kind of what's stressing me out. The bottom box is, I can see, at the bottom box is all of my construction day transformation supplies. This one is assortments of holidays, Valentine's, Halloween, Christmas, all of that, just decor. And then more decor and more construction day type stuff. So what I want to do is to be able to get rid of this here. I am going to use those book boxes once they get emptied. That way I can have a Valentine box. That way I can have a fall Halloween box. That way I can have all of them kind of organized. And then this big tub will just continue to be like winter and Christmas holiday stuff. So I would really like to get these put away, but the problem is these, for me in my last school, were all in our hallway storage closet. We had a really big closet that everyone used together, and we all just kind of had our own little space where we kept stuff. But I guess I'm going to have to reconfigure some of these and get that stuff a little better organized, and I guess it's just going to have to stay along the top of my cabinets. I don't have anywhere else to put it, and I don't want just random totes like lined up against the wall. I really don't like that idea. So that's kind of my plan, is to work on that stuff that was over there on that table and then really try and work on these things. That way I don't have just stuff loose and out. It'll be put away, and although those bins aren't like the prettiest thing, at least it will be organized and put away neatly rather than just thrown in like a crate. So that's what I'm going to work on next. Okay, I'm having a slight change of plans just because, or I wouldn't say change of plans, detour. I'm having a slight detour. Just because some of the things that I have in this bin that's been like my craft bin for a couple of years are also a lot of the things that the teacher left in the cabinet. And so I've got a little bit of like paint, glitter, glue, all of that in one tote. But I think what I'm gonna do is use some of these bins, and I'm going to separate them. Like one will hold all the paint, one will hold all the glitter, and I'm hoping that will help me be a little bit more organized and be able to put some of this stuff away and make it all fit in that cabinet. So that's what I'm gonna do, is just pause really quickly on before I move all of this stuff in there, get them all put into these bins. All right, so this kind of gets everything a little bit more organized. I need to do one more, I decided. This one is like yarn and string, but this one is ribbon, so they wouldn't all fit together. Of course, I'm gonna do one more with these, but now I'm just gonna go ahead and get lids on all of these. I've got a paint one. This one is like little foil strips. This one has the little puff things and pipe cleaners and googly eyes. And this one is glitter and glitter pins and beads. And then I think I already have something with a whole bunch of sticks. So before I make one for these sticks, I'm gonna double check, but I'm pretty sure I already have popsicle sticks galore in one. So I'll just add that to it. And then I'll get all of these put at the top with the rest of the craft stuff. Perfect. I got them all organized, and they're on the very top shelf. So every single one of those bins either has like ribbon or glitter or beads or paint or whatever. And then I added also up in that top corner, I just moved the manila paper and construction paper over there. It's probably not the best use for that space, but I literally don't know where else I would put it. In my last school, like I mentioned, we had that hallway closet where not only did we keep our seasonal stuff, but as a grade level, we all just put our paper, construction paper together, and we left it in the hallway closet. And so we just went and grabbed whatever we needed whenever we needed it. So it's just a little bit of an adjustment. I am very thankful for the two cabinets, because in my last classroom, I only had one of these cabinets and they're about the same size. So luckily I do have two. It's just a little bit of an adjustment to figure out where things are going to go, just because it's a little bit different, but that's the name of the game. Whenever you move schools or move classrooms or whatever, you're just figuring out your new space. So I was gonna stay a little bit longer, but as you can probably see, I'm like fogging up my glasses because it's a little toasty in here. The AC went off a little bit ago, and it's kind of starting to get a little warm. So I just am gonna call it. Also, I'm gonna go eat with my family. So, all right, so that's day 2. Again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.